Today we are going over stage 6, and tonight we start live training inside the Money Plan Boot Camp. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? Go join the Money Plan Boot Camp. It's my 5-step framework to creating a money plan that you can actually stick to. I'm going to walk you through it live, step by step. Plus, there's giveaways and prizes and all the things for free. Like, why wouldn't you join, right? Go to budgetsmadeeasy.com/bootcamp. Now, if you haven't already, listen to last week's episodes. I tell you about the money success roadmap and I walk you through the first 5 stages. So if you haven't listened to those already, listen to those first because today's episode is the last stage. It is stage 6. It's financial freedom. You have paid off debt. Now what? So, this is your bigger vision for your life, what you want to be able to do that you can't do now because of debt. This is where you get to start building the life that you really, truly want. So go listen to those other episodes first, 92 through 96, if you haven't already. Now let's dive into stage 6. All right, in stage 6, you are debt free. Now what? You need to have a plan because otherwise you'll still be wandering aimlessly. You'll end up back into debt. You won't know what to do. And this was a problem that my husband and I had. Like, we knew we wanted to save, but it just didn't have the same weight to it. We didn't have a clear money goal. I didn't have a clear savings goal. And we started overspending again because we had deprived ourselves so much to get there. So I talked about that in episode 96 with paying off debt. So go listen to that if you haven't already. But now you need to create a new plan. You've achieved this huge milestone in your life and you want to keep making progress forward and not end up going backwards, right? And so this is where you start saving even more in an even bigger emergency fund. You are you're able to just breathe. You want to start planning your estate and your legacy. What do you want to leave to your children? What do you want to leave to the world? Being able to give back, being able to quit your job like I did. If you just aren't fulfilled, if you want to move on to something else in your life, if you want to stay home with your kids for a season, life is all about seasons, right? And so if right now you want to stay at home with your kids, maybe they need you more. Maybe they're little and they're not in school, or maybe they're in school but they're struggling and they need your attention more. You can do those things even if it's temporary. You're able to build your retirement so that you don't have to rely on your kids or Social Security once you get to retirement. Like, you want to be able to retire someday, right? Like, who wants to? I mean, if you love your job and you want to keep working into your 70s or 80s, great. Like, that's wonderful for you. But what if you get a disability? What if you get hurt? Like, a huge percentage of people end up on disability later in life and aren't able to work as long as they actually wanted to. Like, they're not ready to retire, but they're forced to, even though that's not what they want, right? And so when you start building that legacy for yourself and that future for yourself, you're able to not really stress about those things. If they happen, but you have a plan in place. You're able to afford to take care of yourself. I mean, that's what we want, right? We want that independence. So, financial freedom is also financial independence. You're able to do what you want. Maybe you want to take a year and travel the world with your kids. Like, I've seen people do that. Like, that may really excite you. I don't like to travel that much, so that's not something that I necessarily want to do. But, my husband and I, we want to take an RV around the country and see the West Coast and see the other parts of our country. And, maybe I'll get over my fear of flying and flying over water and all the things to be able to, like, we want to go see Europe and we want to be able to see all the things around the world where if you have a lot of debt, you can't do that. And so, once you are debt free, you've got to think about what is your next goal. You've got to create that next vision. Otherwise, you'll just kind of waste your time and your money um, just aimlessly, right? Like before you started managing your money, it's easy to fall back into that if you don't have a clear focus and a clear goal. So, now you're able to start building wealth. And what does that look like for you? What does wealth look like for you? What does success mean to you? What does that mean? What does that look like? Because it's not going to be the same for everybody. And, maybe you have a different vision and a different purpose in your life. And now you can start to focus on that. You can start working toward achieving that bigger vision, that bigger dream. And so, really sit down and think about what that means for you. Now, keep in mind, if you haven't paid off debt, you are not in this stage. Just like all the other stages, you have to finish each stage. Maybe you are already saving for retirement or your kids' college, or you have that bigger vision, but you're not debt free, so you're still in stage 5. But you're way ahead of the game once you get there, right? So, just want to reiterate that you are only in one stage at a time. Even if you are working on or have already done some things in another stage, in a forward stage, you're still need to finish the things in your stage that you haven't finished yet. So this is the stage for once you are debt free. I want you to create a new 5-year plan. Okay. I want you to set things up on automation for investing, your retirement accounts, or if you're going to have index funds outside of your retirement account, like a brokerage account. I want you to set those things up on automatic drafts. And you're able to do that now that you have money. Like you're able to do what you want with your own money. It's not going to pay debt and pay for things from the past. I want you to set up your savings on automatic, your college savings, if you're going to do that for your children. I want you to set things up on automation so they just happen. You get to just relax, enjoy your life, and set things up where they just run without you. I want you to figure out your estate plan, get a will done, figure out what you want to do with your things. And of course, this can change. We've changed our will a couple of times as our kids have gotten older. We did it when our first was a little over a year. We didn't even have a second child yet. We've changed it again, and we're going to change it again. Like as your kids get older, you're going to change your will, but you still have to have that plan in place, your estate plan. So sit down with an attorney in your state. I highly recommend seeing an attorney in person, not like an online lawyer, like I'm trying to think of what it's called, but where it's like a generic will. Okay, you're debt free. You are going to build an enormous amount of wealth and you need to protect it legally. So get a lawyer in your state that specializes in estate planning and figure out what makes the most sense for you at the stage of life that you are in. Because, of course, things will be different depending on your age, your kid's age, what you want your money, where you want your money to go once you pass. And so that's all going to look different. You need to find a attorney that specializes in estate planning where you live. So that's a big thing. I want you to create that vision. What do you want to do? Create a new goal, a new SMART goal for the next 5 years. And that may look something like where, once I quit my job, my plan or what I have been doing for the past 5 years is building my business. So I haven't been saving as much in retirement and college funds. I've saved some, but not as much as I'd want because I've been investing in my business. But here very soon in the next year, as my business grows, I'm going to be able to start doing more of that and more than I would if I didn't have the business. And so keep in mind that things will change. There's a season to everything, right? There's a season to your life. So focus on kind of what you want to do for the next 5 years. And of course, that may change depending on what happens throughout the next 5 years, but just have a goal, have a vision, because I want you to stay focused on that. It's so incredibly important to have a plan for your life and have a plan for your finances so that you can stay on track, because it's so easy to get distracted and just a little percent off. An airplane, when an airplane is flying, if it's just 1% off over the miles, oh my gosh, you're like hundreds of miles away from your destination, right? And so, same goes for your life. If you want to end up in Charlotte, you can't be at 1% off your path, right? You need to be on your path so that you get to where you want to go. And so, if you don't create a new plan and a new vision and stay focused on reaching that destination, and when you do get off track, you're course correcting, you're going to end up somewhere you really don't want to be, right? So we need to create a new plan. And that is something that, I had to learn the hard way. A lot of our mistakes that we really learn in life, we have to do. We have to do it ourselves. We can't always learn from other people, from their mistakes. Now, I have, and I do learn a lot from other people's mistakes as well. But, know that you are going to make mistakes, and try and learn from my mistake on this and create a new vision once you pay off debt. Because we did. We did get off track. But we got back on. It took us a while. We didn't make as much progress as we wanted as fast as we did, because we did get distracted. We got off track. And then, we got pregnant with third baby and decided to stay at home. So that really changed our overall plan and goals as well. And so, create your plan, but have a vision for what you want your life to look like, and check in with it through the year. And every year, make sure that that's still what you want, because things change. You may want to start a business and then your whole life has changed. You may want to have another kid and your whole life has changed. You may want to move. You may say, oh, I want to move across the country. I want to move to a different country. Things change. You've got to check in with yourself. You've got to check in with your partner if you're doing this with a partner, and keep that vision alive. Like, keep checking in with yourself and keep checking in with your finances, and make sure that where you want to go is where you're headed. And I just can't wait for you to get there, because it's just so, I just don't even know how to describe it. A weight is lifted off your shoulders. You're not laying awake at night stressed about how you're going to pay for all the things. The kids brought home another field trip form. I got to go get cash. I have to do this. I got to pay for school pictures, and I got to pay for the yearbook stuff, and then the graduation stuff. And it's always something. And when you have a plan and a vision, you're able to a lot easier say what you want and what you don't want. And so that is just as important as saying what you want, is saying what you don't want. So maybe you don't want to help your kids pay for college. Some people don't. That's perfectly fine. But knowing that, and making a plan for that, preparing your children for that, is a whole lot better than surprising it on them this summer before they want to go to college, right? So, just create that vision, stay on track, and create some new goals. Check in with those goals periodically. And of course, if you haven't already, go back and listen to the first episodes with the Money Success Roadmap. And tonight we start the Money Plan Bootcamp live. I hope you join me. We're going to go through how to create your framework so that you can create a realistic plan that works for you, but you have to sign up. So if you want to watch the replays, if you can't join me live, you still have to sign up to be able to access those. So go to budgetsmadeeasy.com/bootcamp, and I will see you there. I'll see you tonight. Let me know if you listen to this episode whenever I go live tonight. I love to hear it, and I will talk to you soon.